So here's what's funny but not funny is everybody's on this Republican fucking Democrat fucking bullshit. Listen, people. Listen. Listen very, 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 very carefully. Okay. Everything I'm about to say, you can fucking Google real quick. All right. Apparently, quite a few of you that are of my generation, okay, which is in the 45 to 60 category, have forgotten what the United States of America is, okay? First and foremost, it is an experiment, okay? Yes, it's a 250-year-old experiment, but it's still an experiment. At the time of the founding of this country, there had not been a country or a group of people that were governing themselves. Everywhere in the world at that time was ruled by some type of king, queen, or empire, okay, with an emperor, all right, which is just a fancy word for a fucking king. All right. Founding fathers got sick of paying so much fucking tax. They taxed their last luxury item at the time, which was tea. All right. So a bunch of Americans got pissed off. They were colonists at that time and threw a ton of tea in the harbor. We call it the Boston Tea Party. That is what ignited the idea of the United States of America. Was men and women were tired of giving their hard-earned money to an unthankful entity that did not address their fucking needs. Does that sound familiar? Oh, because that's where the fuck we are right now. Because here's a little fact for you. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, think of what you can do right now that is legal that you don't pay 4 or 5 different taxes on. Okay? All right? They've even gotten so crafty with their taxes. The old sexual shit is getting taxed. They're taxing fucking gambling now. Vices that they said was bad. It's outlawed in many states. There's a whole city in fucking Las Vegas about gambling, but that's okay there because it's state control. Do you see where I'm fucking going? It's about the fucking money. It was about money at the Boston Tea Party, and it's about fucking money now. They've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar, both sides. Don't believe this stupid ass political party bullshit, okay? Because for every one Democrat that you fire at, how did they get that wealth? I can fire at a Republican. You want to talk about Nancy Pelosi? You can't talk about Nancy Pelosi without talking about Mitch McConnell. Where did all his fucking money come from? Really? You think that young 20s or 30-something wife really connected with the 80-some-year-old bullshit politician? Okay? You want to bring up AOC? Okay. How about Crenshaw? Where's his money coming from? All of a sudden, he seems to have quite a bit of it, just like AOC. But because it's the politicians, people. It is the politicians. Okay. Everybody's been right. They're just narrowing the pointer, and it should be wider. You know, like that Samsung new camera that will get like a block. Okay. We need like 5 of them to expand, because finding a politician that's not crooked, that Nick Shirley, look into that shit. I'll bet that's a goddamn thing you won't find, because look, corruption starts at your local level, at your county government. Okay. Track some of these politicians. Okay. there's people out there that there's headhunters out there. There's political headhunters out there that this is what they look for. They look for someone that's going to appeal to that demographic. In the internet, we call that a niche. Okay. Niche has been around forever. The internet didn't pioneer it. Okay. There's guys out there that are talented. All right. And they survey their area. Okay. This is the guy that we want. Okay. They look at the population. Okay. It's 80% people of color. Okay. We need, we need this guy. Okay. And whatever their surveys and all their bullshit come up with, they generate a candidate, kind of like the FBI and like you see on the behavioral analysis unit. They create this profile that's going to adhere to the most of the demographics needs to get the majority of the votes to win that election. And that's what they do. This is what people do. Okay. And it's not always about race. There's other individuals that strong moral fiber, all that other stuff. But what I'm saying is it starts at your county local level. That's where the corruption begins. And it's as simple as this. Okay. You become let's say a tax assessor. All right. Which is probably entry level into the county government. Your friend puts up a building or something, you got to go reassess it. Okay. You're not particularly great friends, but you think he says, come on, do me a favor, man. I really don't want my taxes to go up. So you kind of don't report everything. And I know this is going to sound like splitting hairs, but technically this is where corruption starts. Okay. So you do that favor, his taxes don't get raised. All right. Now you fast forward 5 years down the road. Okay, you're running for mayor of said city. Okay, we'll say, buddy, he comes to you. Now you're elected mayor. Hey, I need to get this rezoned, man. I got do you understand what? Then you say, well, no, I can't do that. You have to file paper. Whoa. What about when you were tax assessor and yada, yada? You see where it goes? It doesn't sound serious. But in the wrong hands, anything can be serious. That's the entry level to blackmail, because now you're afraid you're the new mayor. The last thing you need is a scandal. So you convert to him. Well, now this guy has 2 files for blackmail against you. And it just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going until said politician has to make a fucking decision. Do I continue on this path? This guy is going to own me after another 10 years. His blackmail file is going to be huge. Does this sound familiar? Because this is Nancy Pelosi's version of politics. Everybody forgets where she started. She started as note taker for her father of all of the favors that he had done. Okay. And I'm not pulling this out of my ass or pulling this out of the air. Look up the 60 Minutes interview where she said that quote. Is a quote out of her mouth. That was her job as a young lady, in her words. My dad had me sit in the corner and take notes of all of the dealings so that he wouldn't forget who owed him favors. Favors. Now, favor doesn't sound so bad. Doesn't sound like a bad word, does it? No, it don't. But the favor turns into bargaining chips that turn into blackmail that eventually turns into fraud. So now we're 10 years into this politician's said career. Now he's going for some state position. Okay. Well, now Joe Bob, or Buddy, as I like to call him, has came up as well. You're hurting his business. Hey, you need to back off of this or I'm going to pull my funding. You see how this goes? So now he can do nothing but move forward with fraud and corruption. That's all he can do because he owes so many favors to get where he is. You understand what I'm saying? That's how the political system works. Then you want to sprinkle in the real corruptors, which is the lobbyists. The lobbyists adhere to no rules. None. They have one rule. Don't get caught buying the politician you need to get the bill passed. That's their only effing rule. Okay? They spend ungodly amounts of money to get bills passed. And this is how our corrupt, broken political system works, which is kind of similar to a little country that we just took their president because he was too crooked. See, that's kind of where we get. And that's where we're going with the United States politicians. There's some of them that are they're just too far crooked, you know. Pelosi, that's why she's not seeking re-election. She's smart. She's getting out. She's hoping that, you know, they'll let her keep her money and go. Schumer needs to go. He won't take the no. Waters has been awful quiet. So all of these people, they're so far corrupt that they're only, it's like when we were in 2000, the bullshit 2008, too big to fail. Anything can fail. It's just a matter if you want it to or not. So don't listen to the bullshit, any of you. This is all about money and freaking power. It's all it's about. You know, does it seem that Trump is trying to bring it back more towards the founding fathers' ideas? I think so. And I guess the optimist in me hopes so, I'll say. I know under Biden and them, we were going a direction I did not want to go. I don't think the country can afford to go that way. So that's my little 2 cents on this political bullshit. So listen up, pay attention, and don't believe the dumb shit.